I hear some people trying to accuse the best of all humanity, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, of being some type of pedophile, because at that time it was quite common to conduct marriages or make marriage contracts when someone was pubescent, and one of his marriages was to someone young, which was quite common. It was the norm, in fact, all over the world at that time. They didn't have this concept of adolescence, which came about in the 16th century. In fact, the word teenager, where you're not quite a teen, you're not quite a child and you're not quite an adult and you're kind of in between, you're a teenager. The term teenager came about in the 1940s. So everywhere in the world, on every continent, people married young, or they made contracts for marriage young. So that has nothing to do with modern day pedophiles in Hollywood and the pedophile politicians and the pedophiles all over your neighborhoods and stuff, who should be executed, by the way. There's nothing. Marriage from the 7th century was nothing like the child abusers of today. Because if that's the case, then that means all of mankind, all of your ancestors in Europe, in Asia, in Africa, in Australia, everyone did that. So that means everyone's family, ancestors, all of your ancestors were pedophiles? Of course not. This was a old tradition where people were prepared for adult responsibilities. You had young boys who could be general. We call them boys. They weren't considered boys then, 15, 16. They were generals on the battlefield, right? Leading much older men. Some of them were kings. You have kings who were 12 years old. So the marriage customs in the 7th century Arabia or Africa or Europe or even this country, United States, is not like the disgusting, abusive pedophiles of today. So don't get it twisted.